This month, our worship theme is all about the power of words. Obviously, the words that we use or hear from others have the ability to love or to harm, to build up or to tear down. The words that we don't say also have an impact on our relationships with one another. This month's Mental Health Matters segments will be all about the power of words that we speak to ourselves, our self-talk. The way that we think about words and the expectations that we have behind them can have a big impact on our mental health and how we feel about ourselves. Earlier this week, I had the privilege to help lead a consecration service for the new sanctuary that is a part of the Critical Care Tower and main entrance addition on the Bozeman Deaconess Hospital campus. We welcomed interfaith leaders from all over the Gallatin Valley to join us to set aside this space as holy and sacred for all who will use it. Some of you know Rabbi Ed Staffman, Rabbi Emeritus from Beth Shalom here in Bozeman. As a part of the consecration service, Rabbi Ed shared a traditional blessing found in the book of Numbers. But before he did, he shared the midrash of the blessing. Midrash, meaning Jewish scriptural interpretation that is often presented as a conversational, sometimes even humorous banter between rabbis. I found that his offering provided a perspective on words that we use all the time, and especially words we use during the time of COVID, words like faith and hope. His perspective allowed me to make a mental shift, a shift that invited me into a healthier understanding of these words and concepts, an understanding that gives me important perspective that will in turn hopefully help me beat myself up less when I don't live up to what I think those words are supposed to look like. Let's listen.
In the Jewish tradition, we have a precedent for consecrating or blessing a new sanctuary, and it's found in the book of Numbers. The situation is the first sanctuary in the desert was built, sometimes called the tabernacle, and it was quite ornate and beautiful, much like this one. And large crowds developed. Well, that was before the age of COVID. But they were there, and we're here today, both live and virtually. And there was quite a hubbub in the air and excitement. And in all of that, Moses' brother Aaron came out to deliver the blessing. It's a blessing that's used to this day, both in the Jewish tradition and throughout many religious traditions, especially the Christian tradition, and it's known as the priestly blessing. It's a three-part blessing, and I'll deliver it today. But first, I want to say just a word about it. The first line of the blessing is probably familiar to most of you. It says, "May God bless you and protect you." It seems straightforward enough. But the rabbis, the sages of our tradition asked, bless you with what? And protect you with what? From what? And the first part of the question they asked very simply. They answered very simply. They said, they noticed that in the Hebrew, it uses the singular form of the word you. And so therefore, even though Aaron was blessing a large group of people, he was talking to each individual. And they concluded, therefore, that the blessing that was being bestowed was for whatever each individual might need. So whatever each of us might need at this moment is what's intended in that first part of the blessing. The second part is more curious. Protect you from what? Well, our sages have a big debate about what that is, but in the end they conclude to protect you from the blessing. So whatever it is you need, you also need to be protected from. For example, it's my blessing that each of us will have at some point an opportunity to experience hope in this place, but be protected from an unrealistic hope that leads us to false places. It's my blessing that unity is experienced in this place. We all want unity. But to protect us from so much unity that we lose the beautiful individualistic pieces of the various traditions that will use this space, each in their own way, each making it holier. A third example is faith. May we each derive in this place, as we use it going forward, a sense of faith. But may it not be the kind of faith that has certainty. Rather, let's be protected from that and instead have a kind of faith that gives us the ability to learn and live in the uncertainty. So each of these blessings has it becomes perfected when included with the protections. The blessing goes like this, in the original Hebrew with translation. Yevarechecha Adonai v'yishmarecha. May God keep and protect you. Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'yichunecha. May God's presence be before you and be gracious unto you. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. And may God's nearness be felt and give you peace. And that's the blessing for all of you that I hope will feel that experience of peace and holiness as you enter this holy place.
If you'd like to watch the service in its entirety, it can be found on the Bozeman Health website under Support Our Mission Live Events, or the website is below. May we be blessed with faith, but may we be protected from expectations that our faith isn't good enough. May we be blessed with hope, but protected from hope that doesn't allow us to sit with what is. And may our self-talk always build up and not tear down. The church emergency number is area code 406-333-1856 because your mental health matters.